everyone, it's Keely here for Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for today's soap making video. Yes, I still have the cold, and after 3 intros I'm about to lose my voice, so let's make this one quick. I am going to take you along today as I make my gin martini soap, and sadly it will possibly be the last time I ever make this soap. Let's go. Okay, so let's get into making this soap. We've got our oils and our lye water down to room temperature. Going to just very gently pour that in to avoid any splashback. I'm going to mix them up, and as always split it up for a few colours. Okay, so I've got that mixed up, and I have got 3 colours to go into our mould today, or into our soap. I have got, let's see if we can get these in view of the camera. Alright, so I have got some Wellington, which is an absolutely gorgeous yellow, and I'm using that to kind of represent the lemon that you would normally get in some martinis, or gin martinis. I have also got some Hello Spring in this one. Let's pour some of that off. And I also have some Olive Grove in this one, and that's to kind of represent the olives that are normally put into our gin martinis. That should do with those. And then let me grab my white here. I've got some titanium dioxide already dispersed in water, and that is to pop in here. Oh, just gave it a quick little heat in the microwave just to start loosening that up. We'll pour some in and get these colours all mixed in. Okay, so I've got them all mixed in, and I'm very sad to be using this one. This is the last of my gin martini, which Boo from Moo Boo Melts and More sent to me, and it is just such a wonderful fragrance. I have made a couple of soaps with it. I also made myself some body scrubs because I really liked it. I made myself a small candle. I actually didn't like it as a candle. I didn't think it smelled as good as it does when you put it into Bath and Body products. But it does smell absolutely wonderful. It's got bubbly notes of club soda, and you can really get that sense of bubbles from out of it. It also has some fresh rosemary, some balsam fir. There's meant to be some crushed ginger, crisp cedar, and lots of citrus notes as well. And to me it smells more like a gin and tonic to me than it does a gin martini, because you do have that sort of bubbly sensation that you get from tonic water. And for me, that sort of combination of the balsam and the cedar and rosemary gives it that almost quinine sort of smell that you get from out of tonic. It's been such a lovely fragrance, but there's no point keeping it in the bottle on the shelf, so one more soap I can make with it. And I do know that this one behaves quite well from my previous experiences, but having said that, we might end up with something different today. But let's get it all mixed in, and then we'll go and grab the mould, and I will decide what sort of pour I'm going to do into it. Okay, so let's decide what we're going to do. I think we might just try and do my classic sort of pouring style and see if we can get some curly whirlies going in here. So we're just going to do a simple in the mould swirl, I think. I'm a little bit disjointed right now with what I'm trying to do. I'm going to pour about half of that white in, and then pour my colours, and then we'll finish pouring in the rest of that white, because that seems to be how most of my curly whirly swirls actually seem to show up. And someone has also suggested they think it's to do with how I hold my buckets when I'm actually pouring into my mould, and it's I don't want to say it's different to how everyone else does it, but every time I do it this same way I seem to get that consistent result. So we'll see what happens, but I am feeling just a little bit flustered. I've been setting myself up today or this afternoon to make these soaps once the shop actually shut. and I'd already made plans to stay behind to do it. But my husband messaged me with a picture that our neighbour had sent us of all these smashed pots out the front of our house. And the problem with that is we went out our time last night we went to go out to a market that was happening down the road, and we left the house and we left Lucy. She was a little bit funny. She tried to get out the front door with us when we left, but there was no storms or anything around, so there was no reason for her to be in that sort of panicky mood that she was in. So we told her to get back inside the house, and then we were probably about 5 to 10 minutes down the road when we got a phone call from our neighbour across the street saying they'd just found Lucy out in the front and had put her back into the backyard, but wasn't sure how she'd really got out. So we turned around and we went back, and we've kind of worked out that she's somehow squeezed between the gates. She'd managed to get the bottom of our side gate slightly open, and she's squeezed her way through, which is really, really weird because she hates anything touching her sides. So like if a door's not open far enough for her, she won't go through it. So we're not sure why she decided that on this occasion she was going to go through the gate, but she did. So we've got her back in, and we've then gone about going back out again for the night, because she has to learn that we can go out and we will come back. And then it looks like she's trying to get back out again today when my husband's left the house, but I think all she's done is actually jumped up the side where these plants are, because the garden, our backyard's dropped down, and she's knocked all the pots over, and then she's just got inside and gone back to sleep. So thankfully she's there. Before I tell you any more of that, what people think I do differently is because I pour up and down my mold rather than most people that pour this way. I don't know if it really makes any difference, but we'll see. So I'm just going to pour this in, working up and then back down, and quite often that makes the swirls. But yeah, my husband sent me this message with these fallen pots, and I said, oh well, I guess I'm not making soap this afternoon, because the neighbour said they'd also been over and knocked on the door, and Lucy hadn't come to the door barking or anything. So I said, alright, well I guess I'm going home to go and find what she's doing. And then our neighbour said that her son had actually gone over into the backyard and could see that she was asleep on the sofa. So hubby said it was, stay behind, make your soaps. But by this point I'm already so flustered with what I'm doing. So I'm surprised I've actually got soap in the mould. But now I'm just a bit like, where was I? I was so organised. See, I'm not always as organised as people think I am. Little things, little episodes like that will actually throw me off. But it's coming together as I wanted it to. So I've got all those pots scraped out. So just got a little bit more in the bottom there. In here we might just grab a chopstick or we'll grab a chopstick and just swirl that top a bit. See if I can drag some of that colour down into where this more white area is. And then I do have some little olive embeds to go on the top of this one, but I'm going to have to wait until this sets up a little bit more because it is extremely runny. But that top is looking absolutely stunning. I'll bring you down for a closer look of it. So look at the beautiful swirls on the top of there. I love it when soap stays this fluid. But I'm going to leave it sit here for about 10 minutes and then I'll come back and I'll put the olives on. Okay, so I'm going to see if I'm ready to put on our little embeds, and I've got two different coloured olives here which I've made with some soap dough, and each one is going to have 3 olives. I'm going to take these gloves off because I do find it easier to put these on when I don't have gloves on. And let's just grab a few. Now some bars will have 2 dark olives and some will have 2 light ones. I'm going to start by putting one in the middle of each of these bars to start with. Oops. trying to get them in the right place so that we don't cut them with the soap cutter. Wow, I thought I'd done it right, but I've got one. So what I'm going to do, because it's going to annoy me, is actually change those two olives around. So there's two colours aren't there together. I'm going to give it a quick little dusting with some glitter, just because it's gin martini and it's bubbly and fun. Then I'll bring you down. Okay, so there it is. There's gin martini in the mold. I absolutely love how that has come up on the top. Can't wait to get this one cut open. It behaved so well. We should have some beautiful swirls on the inside. So I'll leave it sit here overnight and we'll be back in a moment. We'll cut it open. Okay, so we are ready to cut into gin martini. It is smelling so good. It is such a wonderful fragrance. I will definitely be keeping myself a bar from off of this lot. Let me get this all lined up in the cutter and we will see what sort of curls and swirls we got on the inside, because it was just so fluid when it was poured. Just bump that a little bit too far and hopefully we miss all these olives. Perfect. Through we go. So let's start from the middle ones. And oh, look at those swirls. I absolutely love this fragrance. It behaves so well. We get beautiful curly whirlies. Really, really happy with the colour. It smells absolutely wonderful as well. So really pleased, because I was really, really flustered when I was making this particular soap. It was kind of one of those things. I knew Lucy should have been in the house in the backyard and I'd had it confirmed she was there, but I was still really, really worried about her as well. Pretty much since the day that we got Lucy, I have worked from home for her whole entire life up until August last year. Now, we do go out. I do leave her at home by herself, you know, when we go out for dinners and go to the shops and the post office and all that sort of stuff. So it's not like she's never been left by herself before, but suddenly me just not being there with her all day, every day, she has got quite upset. It's not so much anxiety. She's not exhibiting that. She just gets a little bit upset when we go and leave her behind. But I know that she was perfectly safe. Got home to her and she was so happy to see me. Gave her a dinner. I sat down on the sofa to eat mine and she snuggled up with me. So she just mustn't have wanted to be by herself yesterday. So, but hopefully she'll be alright. She was at home today with my husband because it was his days off. So hopefully it's just a little phase that she is going through. But I'm so pleased that this soap turned out as I wanted it to. It is the very last time I'll probably be making a gin martini soap, and I'll be definitely keeping a bar of this one for myself. I hope you've enjoyed watching how I made this one. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one and I will see you then. Bye.